This is a bloated SCARM layout. The bench work here has a keyhole to wrap around a column, and the keyholes are a polygon. You can do them in the bench work, and the main thing is, and SCARM is good at letting you know if you've got your polygon crossing over. That's not going to work, so you can put them in. It takes a little bit more time. This is the lower level for parking and staging. It's got outer perimeter ramp up and an interior ramp up, and you can run long trains, 50 plus cars to the top level and back down. So here the parking level is with the perimeter ramps, and the interior ramps are a little more difficult to see, but you can kind of make them out. It is roughly a 400 car and 30 train parking staging, and works pretty good on the simulator for setting up your trains and running them out and putting them back in and then running another one out. This is the second level, and it is more or less a switching level. It's got reversing loops and ramps coming through it and getting off on it as well. It's got a turntable with a little bit of a different configuration on train storage with more or less these Ross Ys. And this is a look at it. And the flash of the surface area that you saw briefly was just basically to when you're running them in the 3D view to let you know you're coming through to the second level. From the first to the second level, you are also going to have to know where the entire train travels through that plane. Here is the third level. It has a, well, I suppose it would be a double reverse, and it's using sidings for the long trains to reverse. So it comes in on green, gets out to yellow, comes back in on green and exits, comes back in on the reverse and exits on the green. So that is the status of it. I guess I'll get into more chit chat when we're running the 3D, but here is the entire thing. You can see the surface area. Again, that's a object polygon, and it is keyholed as well for where the ramps come through. And you're going to get a visual of that when the trains actually run. But the one thing you need to think about is how you're going to get in there and handle derails and repairs. And this layout design actually looks a lot unrealistic. So price-wise as well. But my plan, if I did get around to building this, would be to scale it down to something that was manageable, which would be probably in the, I don't know, 25% of what is there. Here we are looking at the ramps, and we're going to look at elevations. I think we're going to be looking at, this is the interior, this is the perimeter ramp. The perimeter ramp is something you could run a little bit faster on. The slopes are all under the 2.5% grade. And yes, we are going to look at the slopes. And SCARM is really good at elevations. I have been working CAD for a while, and I tried to do my layouts in CAD, but the elevation changes and that was just excruciating. In SCARM, it is whiz bang, you're done. A lot of this layout was done with SCARM's copy paste, and then go into the toolbox, shift height, bring it up. And I am going to, if I ever do get around to building one of these, I am going to test whether it is advantageous to stack your track or not. But I'm thinking that it will be. And SCARM's pretty good about doing that with the copy paste shift change. And here we're building our long train. It is going to be, I think it's going to be a 55 car. It might be less. The control for running the trains is going to be in the center to optimize the view of the entire layout. And I think we're going to do a reverse here. So this is a 51 car train. We're going to run it at 100% once we get going. And we're going to time it too. I kind of want to know at 100% on the simulator what an actual long train would take to run. And I'll probably take 25% of the simulator 100% time to determine a reasonable amount of time that it would take a long train on the real deal. So it's going into a switch loop here, and it has just switched out, believe it or not, onto the green line, and it is technically reversed at this point. And you're going to want to put reverse loops wherever you can, and if you need to make long ones, you want to consider running a siding along it and take advantage of that and switching out. So it's not just one switch handling it that gets that determines the length of the train. But if you run a siding, you can run long trains on a reverse loop. So we're coming up here around the corner, and we're going to switch up to a ramp and move into 3D. We are on that ramp now. Oh, excuse me. No, this is actually the train starting out on the switch loop and then coming back to the ramp. So now we're going to see what you saw in the 2D bird's eye. We're going to see that in 3D. The markers that you're seeing are to assist running the trains in 3D. When you have a lot of lines, the black ones are dead ends, and then the other circles are corresponding to the track colors that you see in 2D. And they run at whatever diameter. They are 0.5 height, and they are at the elevation of the track, if you want to know. These are big sweeping turns, as big as I could get, and I think the smallest might be 42. So we are going up the interior ramp now, and you can see that surfacing there that is at about a 15 or 20% transparency, but it's going to let you know where the train comes through, and you're going to look at it in 3D and make sure that it's got the clearance. It's going into a smaller reverse loop here, but for this function, it's just a turn. It's not reversing. It will reverse at the top, at the next level. So it's going around here at a 0 elevation, and it's going to come up to the next set of interior ramps, and it's going to climb. And the ramps, you'll get smart on how those set up. They're not as simple as they may look in terms of real estate that you have, and you may have to get creative with them. And now we are at the upper elevation, and we're using the siding again, to stretch out that reverse loop. So it's out to the yellow line, and then it'll move into the crossing, which is the green line right now. It will reverse, and on the green line, they're running side by side. And that's essentially how to get your long trains reversed in a small space. And it is going to take the return route. You're not going to have to throw any switches at this point. We'll go through, and I think you can see the surface penetration coming up right there to the right, screen right, is where that penetration comes through. Just to let you know how much you're going to have to open that bench work to get the train through. Now, I think it's a good 14 inches between first and second level, and maybe 10 or 11 between the second and the third level. You've got to take into account your bench work thickness as far as that, the plywood, and I would not recommend OSB just because it's rough, it's cheap, it's rough, and it's heavy. So go with a flat plywood, easier to work with, and more accommodating to a finish if you need to finish it in terms of paint. But here it is. It is pulling in. It's a 51 car long train, and it's going to come up to where it started out at, and you could run this continuous if you wanted to. Well, anyways, I hope it helped you somehow. Later.